Okay, I want to talk about family, faith, and fitness, how to put it all together. Okay, the reason why this is coming up is my wife and I were watching docu-series, docudrama, whatever, The Chosen on the Peacock app. It's an amazing show. I know that we're not caught up to the most current episode yet. That's fine. The episode we were watching, it was right before getting ready to do like the Sermon on the Mount type thing. And one of the apostles, Simon the Zealot, not Simon who was later named Peter, he was out doing his daily routine of his exercising, doing his runs, probably his push-ups, whatever else. And one of the other apostles was butthurt about it, and basically accused him of almost making his physical fitness a god or an idol or something like that. And quite honestly, it's somewhat easy to do. It's somewhat easy to focus a lot on your physique and on your fitness training when you are going for it really hardcore. Okay, when say you used to be really heavy like I was, and you were trying to really improve your physique, do bodybuilding competitions, whatever. Okay, it's easy to put fitness on such a high pedestal that you sometimes forget the other things. It happens. I would caution you on that. But I also want to explain to you something else that I think is very important. All right. So, yes, no matter what your fitness goals are, you have outside obligations. All right. You have obligations to your family, which includes your job. You have obligations along with your family. You have obligations in raising them correctly as far as your children are concerned. And that is, in many people's cases, a faith. All right. My wife and I are practicing Catholics, not perfect in any stretch of the word, but that's our faith. And of course, it was our job to make sure our sons were raised Catholic. And I think we did a pretty good job. Okay. Both of my sons are now older. I've got a beautiful daughter in law. I also have a wife that has been with me now for 30 years. 28 of them was married, 2 of them was when we were dating. And she deserves the best of me. And so, this is where I'm going to talk about how you make sure you do all of that. Because men, look, you owe it to your wives to be the best version of yourself, and you also owe it to your wife to be physically attractive and take care of yourself. All right. One of the things, what I want to really kind of get into right now is when people sit there and make it sound like it's almost selfish for you to, God forbid, get in shape and get healthy. I would venture to say that it's selfish to not get in shape and not be healthy. All right. Because at the end of the day, if you aren't taking care of yourself now, you're going to be forced to take care of yourself later. Things can happen. You can be in great shape, get into a car accident, or something bad can still happen to you, and you're still left, in a way that other people are going to have to help you out. All right. But however, it's a lot more likely that you're going to have something really bad happen to you if you're 300 pounds and your cholesterol's through the roof and you're type 2 diabetic and all of these other things. But hey, at least you didn't, spend an hour or two a week at the gym to take care of yourself. Do you see where I'm going with that? So trying to fit it all in while you have your obligations, along with having those obligations, being physically fit for your family and your God are important. So I would venture to say that what it boils down to is, as far as putting it all together, is using your time a lot more wisely. I've said it I've said it in some TikToks, I've said it in other videos, that the one finite resource that you have, the most finite resource that you have, is your time. You don't get a millisecond back at all. None of us know our expiration date, all right? But we do know that the time we have, we've got to take advantage of it. I wouldn't tell you that during some of that time you shouldn't maybe enjoy some cool things. Like you see Prince's name in the back. You're damn right. I love music. I'm going to listen to some music. Okay? I play music. I do some things that I enjoy that perhaps my time could be used doing something else. But, your life is meant for enjoyment. All right? Your time is also meant to commune with God. All right? Your time is also meant to be with people that you love. And then, honestly, in order to make sure all of that comes into place, your time, part of your day, should be focused on taking care of your health, physically, spiritually, and mentally. All right? So how do you put it all together, Chris? You've talked about, I don't know how many minutes I've already gone into this right now. How do you put it all together? The one thing we all have a problem with is time. All right. Kind of paraphrasing Arnold Schwarzenegger here, but the day has 24 hours. We sleep 6, sleep 7, sleep 8, and then we go on about our day. Now, let me also backtrack just a little bit about fitness, all right, and how I believe it's important for your family as well as it's important for your faith. It's important for your family because you have to be able to get your family out of rough situations. You can't do that if you're a fat slob. Okay, you just can't. You have to be a hard target. I understand that just having muscles and looking good does not necessarily mean that you know how to fight, does not necessarily mean you know how to defend yourself, but it does mean that criminals aren't going to necessarily want to mess with you as much as they're going to want to mess with someone who looks like a twig or somebody who looks like Grimace from McDonald's because they know that person's probably not as apt to be able to defend themselves. I know that there's some fat guys and some skinny guys out there who are some martial arts experts and all that other stuff. I get it. I know that. All right. But that doesn't mean that they can't get their ass kicked. Doesn't mean that a guy with muscles can't get their ass kicked. But criminals look for easy targets. That's what they do. So I think getting physically fit, along with learning some self defense, boxing, judo, jiu-jitsu, karate, whatever, and some click ching pow. All right, Second Amendment usually takes care of the rest, right? Those are important things. Being physically fit is very important because sometimes the best fight you're going to get into is the one to fucking run away from. All right. Another thing about physical fitness with having a family or being married is, yeah, I believe I should look good for my wife. I believe my wife should find me attractive. I know she loved me when I was a big fat guy. I know that. All right. We've had a decent romantic life even back then, too. But end of the day, she should like what she looks at. I like what I look at when I see her. So reciprocate. All right. Faith. When it boils down to faith. Taking care of this is nothing more than a carrying case for my soul. I'm aware of that. This is it. Once I'm dead, this body will not matter. It's just going to be in a coffin and it's going to go into the ground. All right. But I also know that we are in a spiritual battle against good and evil. And sometimes that spiritual battle is going to take a physical realm. And if you're not being prepared for the time that you might have to really go into battle, someone else is getting ready for it, and you're going to lose. Okay, so you should take care of it. You should take care of this shell for that reason too. All right. Jesus tells us that there will come a time when we're going to have to, go into battle. It's going to happen. Maybe not in this lifetime. I pray it doesn't happen. I'm going to be 50 years old. I don't want to have to run to the hills and all that bullshit. But I want to be prepared for it if I have to. And let's look at what's been going on in the world today. All right. I don't fixate on current events because at the end of the day, I know God wins. I've read the book, but I also keep myself aware of what's going on so that I can read the tea leaves and see the sign of the times and go, okay, maybe it's time to get ready to, get the hell out of Dodge and figure it out. All right, or maybe it is time that something's bad is going to happen, and I'm going to have to protect my family. I'm going to have to get my wife out of danger. Can't do that if I'm huffing and puffing just going up a flight of stairs. So now, let's figure it out. How do you put it all together? All right. Your workouts need to take a priority in your day. I personally believe that getting your workout done first thing in the morning is the best way to get it done. Why? Well, there's no other time to get it done than right then and there, and then all the other bullshit you have to do can be taken care of afterwards. I know I'll have to get some work done today. I know I'll have to, I'll be home and all this other stuff. First of all, I'm not working out 7 days a week, so on the weekends I'm giving all my time to my wife. But for some jacked up reason, 5 days out of the week I'm supposed to work for an employer. Well, he's not going to get the best of me. The best of me is going to be on the weekends with my wife. So on Monday, I'm getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm working out, and then boom, the rest of my day is for my job. And then when I get home, give my wife the attention she deserves. Go on from there. So that's how you start it. You start your day off with your workout, and you work out intensely. So you're not in the gym for hours on end. And then throughout the rest of your day, you make fitness a habit. You park further away from the from the store, from the office. You take the stairs instead of taking the elevator. You challenge yourself. You're walking your dogs. You're moving. You're eating. Uh-oh. You're eating quality food. What does that mean? If God didn't make it, you don't need it. I'll never tell you to not have a cupcake. I'm never going to tell you to not have a dessert or something like that. In moderation. And not what Americans call moderation. I'm talking real moderation. All right. How many major events are going to go on? All right. So like some anniversaries, holidays, and things like that. Maybe a handful. Or hopefully you only got one anniversary to celebrate. Okay. But all these other things, like birthdays and stuff like that. Do you really need to have cake because it's your coworker's birthday? No, you don't. Do you really have to have cake or ice cream or something like that because it's Halloween? No. Thanksgiving, you're with your family. I wouldn't worry about food at all. You consume all the calories you want. Christmas, I'd say go ahead and have it. New Year's, unless you're out somewhere, yeah, go ahead and have a drink or two. All right. But other than that, eat real food. Take care of yourself. You're not a kid. You don't need to have cereal. You don't need Captain Crunch or any of that shit. Eat real food. That's what it boils down to. All right. I know I kind of rambled on here, but now as far as your faith is concerned, okay, there's absolutely nothing wrong with before you hit the gym doing your Bible reading. All right, listening to a meditation of some sort. Okay, these things don't take that much time. Start your day in prayer, end your day in prayer, and throughout the day, give some prayers to God. He wants to talk to you. All right. Now, as far as not making fitness your idol, this is a big deal. All right. If you are a competitive bodybuilder, if you are just trying to look better naked, whatever have you, you are going to fall into the trap of worrying about how you look. It's going to happen. So, when that happens, when you start feeling yourself maybe getting a little bit too big of an ego and things like that, that's when it's time to thank God for the blessings he gave you. All right, I know you're doing the work. I know you're eating the food and everything else. But ultimately, God is in control, and you've yet to be in a car accident that would have left you paralyzed from the waist down. All those different things. So remind yourself that while you're doing the work, it's him who's giving you the blessings. Period. I hope that makes sense to you. Again, I think fitness should be at least in the top 3 of your priorities so that the rest of your priorities fall into place. You're adding days to your life, hopefully, and you're adding life to your days. At 49 years old, I know a lot of people my age that can't do a lot of different things anymore because they've let themselves go with their health. And you're like, dude, hopefully, I know that I'm probably well past the halfway point of my life, but I'd like to be in my 80s and I'd like to be able to do things, say I have great-grandchildren, grandchildren. I'd like to be able to do stuff with them that doesn't require them pushing me around in a wheelchair, if that be God's will. So I'm trying to help God help me, you know what I'm saying, by being healthy. So that's it. I've ranted long enough, but I want you to put all that kind of stuff in perspective. You control what you can control and make your life better. Make your life better for yourself, make your life better for your family, and make your life better for God. You owe it to all 3 entities, yourself, your family, and your God. I love you. Unleash your champion.